It's a slightly different video today, guys. I'm going to be running through with you my quadruple winning tactic from my Taming the Devils series. It's one that won everything possible with Manchester United. So let's get into it here today and run through exactly how it works. Welcome then, guys, to a brand new video here on the channel for LS Plays FM. And as I've just mentioned in the introduction for this video, it's a slightly different type of episode here today. We are going to be doing a tactics video for FM21, and I'll be running through my 5-2-1-2 tactic with my Manchester United save, which won the quadruple. Now, before we do get into today's video, guys, if you do enjoy this and find the tactic and so on to be helpful, then do make sure to drop a like on the video. It massively does help the channel out. And of course, if you're looking forward to seeing any more of my content, such as my FM21 series, my brand new one, the Red Devil Revival with Kaiserslautern, will be starting up very shortly, possibly tomorrow or later this week, depending on when this video goes live. And also any of my experiments, much like my free transfer experiment, which went live last week. There'll be links to both of those videos as we go. Then do make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell to be notified when any of my content here on YouTube goes live. Now then, in terms of the tactic, guys, as I said, it's a 5-2-1-2 tactic, and it won basically everything that we could win as Manchester United in our very first season in FM21. I'll go straight into the tactic so you can have a look at it. This is it here, of course. Ignore the icons for the players and stuff like that, the injuries and stuff. This is basically following on straight from our Champions League victory with Man Utd. There'll be links to the Taming the Devils series, the playlist right above me if you want to go and have a watch actually of that as well. There'll be links to it at the end of the video if you want to go and give a watch to the series as well. But as I say, so do just ignore the various icons for the players. In terms of the tactic, it is of course a 5-2-1-2. It plays with 5 defenders with wing backs on either side. Although it looks quite defensive, it is actually quite an offensive tactic. It's especially brilliant at counter-attacking, most notably against bigger sides, Man City, Liverpool, teams like that. We've got very good results. So Man City especially, this tactic seems to be able to absolutely kill every time we played them. And Arsenal as well is another perfect example. In terms of how the tactic itself works, it has a mentality of positive. As I say, it's quite attacking, not so attacking that it's actually got the attacking option. We mainly use positive unless we're searching for a goal late on. In terms of what we do when we have the ball in possession, we play very narrowly because of course we don't have any wingers. We look to pass into the space. We look to overlap on both the right and left. We look to focus play through the middle and play out of defence. We play with a standard passing directness, a higher tempo, and we also like to be more expressive. Now, in terms of course the tactic itself, it will be available for you to download. There'll be a link in the pinned comment and in the description of this video. But if you're playing, say, on a system, of course, where you can't import tactics, I know on Xbox, for example, you wouldn't be able to import it. Of course, you can just copy what I have here on the screen. In terms of what we are doing when we are in transition, we look to basically try and counter as quickly as we can do. So we counter press, we counter, we have distribute quickly on the goalkeeper, we distribute low to the centre backs, and the keeper generally takes short kicks. It's worth noting with this type of tactic, you do need to have good wing backs. Okay, that is a prime thing, and you also need to have a very good advanced forward. Without those two things, this tactic can struggle. But if you have those in your team, so for example in our own one we have Martial, we have Rashford, both very pacey strikers, and we also have Alex Telles, especially at left wing back, who is fantastic going forward. So as long as you have a lot of pace up front, that type of stuff, this tactic can work wonders for you. In terms of what we do when we're out of possession, we have a higher line of engagement and we also have a higher defensive line. Of course, playing that type of way, you need to have quite quick centre backs as well, or especially a very quick cover centre back. I'll come to that in a second. We have a standard defensive width. We have more urgent pressing intensity. It's not the full one, but it's still quite a high press. And we prevent the short goalkeeper distribution. Doing all of that stuff means that we can try and, say, counter as quickly as we possibly can do. I mentioned about the quick centre-back. So in my own tactic here, we play Eric Bailly as a central defender on cover. Him playing in that cover role means that he can drop deeper. And because he's very quick, he can try and sweep up any through balls, things like that. We also have David De Gea on as a sweeper keeper defend. Two other very notable roles to just be aware of. The advanced playmaker, we have Bruno Fernandes in that role, and he in that role has thrived. We also probably have Paul Pogba in the DLP role, which is also very, very vital for this tactic. In terms of actually how the side got on and things like that, as I've already said about the competitions, We won everything there was to win with this tactic. We played 38 games in the league, of course. We won 29 of those, drew 7 and lost 2. We had a goal difference of 81 goals. This tactic scores goals for fun and defends very well as well. We finished on 94 points, which was a record for Manchester United. It wasn't a record for the Premier League. We didn't break that 100 points tally, sadly, but it's very much doable, I would imagine. The Champions League, of course, we won that as well. We managed to beat Chelsea in the final in extra time, and we won both the FA Cup and Carabao Cup. In terms of things such as goals, we had lots of goals being scored from lots of different players. We had Rashford scoring 38 over the course of 58 games. Martial scored 37 goals as well. So between the two strikers, that's 75 goals being scored. And they even got 23 assists as well. They often assisted each other quite consistently. We had Bruno Fernandes from that advanced playmaker, as I've already mentioned, with 19 goals and 19 assists. So you're already seeing a very big pattern of players in this tactic score goals. It's worth noting we didn't use the tactic throughout the full majority of the season, but we used it for around about 90%. At other points, we tried playing 4 at the back. That just didn't work. So we swapped to this 5 at the back formation and everything just clicked. We even got goals from the likes of Ronaldo and Mason Greenwood. However, they both picked up injuries, which is why their tallies did drop off. It's also worth noting with the tactic, guys, that in terms of set pieces, the only thing that this tactic actually has set up is how we defend and attack corners. I haven't changed anything with throw-ins or free kicks. So that's something that you could possibly look to invest some time in and maybe even get some extra goals being scored through those routes. When we defend corners, we have our defenders lining up as so, and it seems to be pretty good at defending corners, exactly the same on the left and right. In both occasions, they seem to defend quite well, and you can also counter quite quickly from this formation because of the fact you have 2 players on the edge of the area and 1 player left up front, so you can try and break from it. It generally seemed to work quite well. When we're attacking corners, we have a couple of different options. Primarily, we look to play our corners to the far post in order to allow one of our defenders, generally the tallest one, to go for it. In our case, that was Harry Maguire. And we also had the same for a near post version as well, just so you could alternate between those ideas. And it was exactly the same for the right-hand side too. You can see exactly how they work. So again, if you need to copy them, you can do that as well. Now also, I'll just show you some of the team reports so you can see some of the analysis and basically how well the team performed in comparison to the rest of the league. If I go on our overview, you can see here the general performance for the side outperforms the vast majority of every team around in this league. Of course, we were champions, but regardless, this tactic and the way it played worked phenomenally well with everything that went on. In terms of our goals per game, you can see the darker blue is us and the kind of turquoisey colour is the Premier League average, and our goals per game was phenomenally higher in comparison to the Premier League average. Our XG per game was also phenomenally high. Our goals conceded per game was very good in comparison to the rest of the league. Our XG against was very good too, and our shots per game and stuff like that was always far better than the rest of the league. So you can see that this type of tactic was so good in comparison to everyone else. In terms of the attacking efficiency, we are the red dot on here, and you can see how far out away from everyone else in the league we were. We were considered to be both aggressive and clinical when we are attacking with the ball, which says everything you need to know about how this tactic works, in that you get a lot of chances and that you get a lot of good chances as well, all being created. If we also take a look at the defensive side of things, if I go into our analyst report and we go to the conceding side and we look at our defensive efficiency as well, if I open it up so you can see a little bit clearer and so on, you can see that not only were we considered to be impenetrable, but we were also considered to be quiet as well, in terms of the fact we were up there in terms of facing the least amount of shots and conceding the fewest amounts of goals. So not only is this tactic both incredibly strong going forward, it's also very, very powerful defensively. And you can see that we concede fewer goals than would be expected from the number of shots that we face, which is a key factor with this tactic, in the fact that the way that we play, we don't have many shots taken against us and we don't concede many either. Overall though, guys, you can see that from this tactic, it works phenomenally well. And of course, you're going to need those pacey strikers up top, but if you can get those types of players into your sides, this tactic could work perfectly well for you. Overall though, guys, that just about wraps up this little tactics video here. I say you can find all the links for it down in the description and in the pinned comment, so please do feel free to download it and to apply it as you require. I really hope it works for you as well as it worked for us, and of course do let me know as well down in the comments if you do go end up and using it for yourself. Let me know quite how it goes for you. I really do hope it can help you guys all go and head to glory with your own Football Manager saves. Now, as I did mention earlier on, if you did enjoy this video and you found it useful and you find the formation style to be useful as well, do make sure to drop a like on the video. It really does help the channel out, and of course if you're looking forward to seeing any more of my content here with Football Manager 2021, such as my upcoming Kite Slouch and Save, or any of my experiments, or any more possible tactic videos, which there may be more coming in the future, then do make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you're notified when any of my content here on YouTube goes live. Now guys, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again next time.